right, today we're going to try another board game. This one is called Patchwork. And maybe you can't read Korean, but just in case, here's the English Patchwork. I bought this one while I was in Korea, and Daehan and Hana both enjoy playing it. It is recommended for 8 years and older, but Hana, how old are you?
5.
You are 5, and she gets the concepts of the game, and she wins sometimes. So, let me explain how to play the game. Object of the game is to build a quilt using these quilt pieces on this board to cover up as many spaces as possible. So these are all the components of the game. We have 2 player tokens, a green and a yellow, and these will be going around the board in a spiral fashion until you get to the center, which will end the game. You have some bonus quilt pieces that are free to pick up as long as you pass them first. We have a pile of buttons, and these represent money. And we have the ring of quilts that you'll be using to build your quilt on your quilt boards. And we have the salesperson. This is supposed to represent a salesperson who is offering you the next 3 quilt pieces around the circle. So to explain the rules of the game, I'm just going to play through the first 2 turns as the green player and the yellow player. Doesn't matter who goes first, but I'll start with the green player. When you set up the game, you'll set up this circular field of quilt pieces in a random order. You'll set this salesperson up behind this 2-button one-time cost quilt piece. And you'll give each player 5 button tokens. So the green player will go first. The green player has the choice to pick one of the 3 quilt pieces in front of the salesperson. I am going to go ahead and pick this piece, this 3-button 2-time cost piece, for the main reason that it has this button on it. This actually pays you buttons later on in the game, and I'll show you that later. But to get this piece, I'm just going to go ahead and take 3 buttons, drop them into the bank, and place this down on my board. And it had a 2-time cost, so I will move my piece 2 pieces, 2 spaces on the board, and that's it. My turn's over. It's yellow's turn. They're gonna, before they go, we have to move the salesperson to the empty spot in the circle. This is where the quilt piece was that green purchased. And now yellow has the choice to pick one of the next 3 pieces after the salesperson. And again, I'm looking for buttons on the pieces because they'll pay off more buttons later. So I'm gonna go for this one right here. It's a 3-button, 3-time cost piece. And so yellow's gonna go ahead and take 3 buttons, drop them in the bank, and place this on their board. And they have to move 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna play through one more set of turns, just so you can see a couple more of the rules. It's green's turn. It's not green's turn because yellow just bought a quilt piece. It's green's turn because yellow has actually advanced past green. And that's a general rule through the game. You can take as many turns as long as you are behind the other player. And we'll see an example of that a little bit later. But right now, green has a choice of picking one of these 3 pieces, and I'm actually gonna go for this piece right here. It's a 2-button, 1-time cost. And the reason why I'm going for this is because I only have 2 buttons. So I'm gonna take my last 2 buttons here and toss them to the bank. and put this on my board. And I'm going to move myself one space. Now, the general rule is if you are behind or on top of the other player, then you can continue your turn. As I have no money, I can't buy anything, so I'm going to pass my turn. And what that means is I just move my player token one space, and for every space you move, which was just one, I can collect one button token. If I had moved 2, I would collect 2. If I had moved 3, I would have collected 3. And now that green is ahead of yellow, it's yellow's turn. Yellow has $2 left, and yellow is going to take this piece right here. It's a 1 button for time cost piece, and I'll take 1 button and toss it in the bank, place it on the board, and then move yellow 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, something important happened here. Yellow passed this button space, which is basically a time to pay the player that passed it buttons for each button that they have on their quilt board. So if we take a look here, we can see that yellow has 2 buttons, so they'll collect 2 buttons right into their pockets. And that is pretty much all the rules of the game. The only other things you have to know is that when you eventually come around to one of these bonus quilt pieces, it's the first player that passes it can collect it and then toss it on their board. And then you keep playing, you keep playing, you keep playing until you get to the end. Whichever player gets into the center piece, there's no bonus for getting there first, but they're done. That's the end of their game. And if the other player is still outside, they can continue buying and moving until they have entered the center space. Let's talk about the scoring. Let's say you finish the game and you have 30 tokens in your bank. That's a good score, but you'd have to take a look at your quilt for the final score. So what you have to do is take a look at the empty spaces on the board. Let's go ahead and count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 empty spaces. Each empty space is worth -2 points. So 9 times 2 is 18. 30 minus 18 is 12. So your actual final score would be 12 points. And then you just compare points. Whoever had the highest score is the winner. Let's go ahead and try out a game now, and we'll actually play through a whole game and see how things go.
Okay, okay, I go first.
All right.
No,
You gotta move 6.
6, oh, wow, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not even past this, and wait, did I pass this? I don't know.
Dude, count it again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You did?
Okay, wow.
And so then you get 2 buttons.
Please lose all of your money, Hannah.
And move 2.
Move 2. 1, 2.
2.
I am 19. If I couldn't get this, I'm just
Can I make a suggestion? Took 14. So Hannah, why
It's a
don't
single
you,
one.
Hannah, why don't you put 5 in?
I win. Okay. I win.
Okay, so they finished their game. We hope you enjoyed the game. If you think about purchasing it, you can check the description down below will have a link to it if you're curious. Yeah, it's a good game for kids and for adults too. All right, you guys ready to say goodbye? All right, bye everybody.